Alright, so here's the aim training. Basically, what we'll be doing first is we'll be going through the tracking buddy over here. So we'll start off with counter strafing. So it's just gonna literally be kind of pre-aiming him. So you won't want to do your usual crosser placement. It's like if you're peeking an angle and you already know where someone is, you're just gonna counter strafe into it. After you've done that for a while, you can still keep shooting him, except you're gonna approach him a lot differently. So here you're gonna be learning more about your crosser placement when you don't know where someone is. So you'll be aiming a bit outside the wall. So again, you don't aim too much outside the wall, because if you peek like this and someone's here, you have to flick to them. And don't aim at the wall, because if you're aiming at the wall and you peek, you have to flick again off of the wall into him. So if you're just peeking like this, with your crosser placement just outside of the wall, whenever someone's actually there, you're already aiming at them, so you don't have to do much movement with your mouse to kill someone, which is huge, because flicking is not as consistent as just left clicking. So after you've also done that for a bit, you can move on to the next one, where we'll be going through the flying robots. So there's two levels to this. You can shoot them from this roof, where they're a bit closer to you, or you can shoot them from over there. So you can start off with shooting them from over here, because it's a bit easier. And you're gonna want to kill them with like the first 3 to 5 bullets max. If you don't, you're gonna reset your spray, because after that, the consistency of bullets from a target that's far away isn't good enough. So you won't be using this in game. What you will be using in game is if someone's far away from you, you're gonna be bursting them. You're not gonna get used to spraying someone that's far away, because it's way too inconsistent. Once you're feeling warm here, you can go over there. From here, it's just they're a bit further away and they're at different angles. So it's just gonna make you not have like... It's gonna teach you basically a bit different muscle memory. So different movements. Because here you're a bit more vertical, and there you're a bit more horizontal movement. So it's good to cover every aspect of aiming. Like, obviously you can be a god at one aspect, but if you're god at one aspect and you've trashed at different aspects of aiming, like, it's not really gonna transfer too much in game. Like, you have to make sure you're good at each and aspect of aiming. So you're gonna do this for a little. And after these, we're gonna move on to the aimbots in there. So it's gonna give you a bit of a better representation of what it actually feels in game. Whereas here it's mainly aim training with these guys. Now, moving on to the aimbots. So over here, we can focus a bit on target switching. We'll be using the practice instead. So it doesn't matter too much what weapon you're using, but you should be using weapons that you usually use in game. So if on pistol round you use a classic, use the classic. Frenzy, use frenzy. If you are going to use a ghost or sheriff, whatever, do this with multiple weapons. So do this with your most used weapons to get the best feel, because what you're training here is the recoil of your weapons, how fast it recovers. And while you're doing that as well, you're just training your target switching. So you're gonna shoot one bot, and without killing it, you're gonna go on to the next one. You should always have bot armor on this, because you're not going for the kills, you're going for the headshots. And once you hit this guy, even if he dies, it's fine. Move on to the next guy, hit him, and make sure you're doing it as fast as you can, but make sure you're also controlling the recoil, so you're not just spamming too fast, because it's gonna work a few times, but it's inconsistent, and that's not what you want in game. Alright, after this, we'll be doing these guys, except we'll be doing them from an elevated surface. So the thing about this is sometimes there's angles where there's multiple headshot levels, and you're gonna need to get used to flicking between those headshot levels while someone's like going up a ramp or something. So this is gonna be the best way to get comfortable with it. So you get a headshot, and you're gonna go to the target that's either above or below. You're not gonna go left, right, unless there's a target very close. Then you can kill the target that's very close. But we're not focusing on going horizontal. Again, we're focusing on going vertically. So going up after the kill, and then if it's already max level like this, you can start going down again. After this, you can go onto your sprays. So basically how spraying will work is you're gonna want to get 2 or 3 kills with one spray, but try not go over 10 bullets when you're spraying. Usually 9 is like a sweet spot. So if there's many people like very close to you, this is when it would be useful. If there's one person very close to you, this is where it's useful because you're going to be controlling the spray. So obviously the sprays in Valorant are kind of random at times, where it's not consistent. Like every spray won't be the same, but like they follow a similar pattern. So you're gonna want to spray and kill 2 to 3 targets per spray and not go over 9 to 10 bullets. Alright. Last you'll be going through your regular quote unquote aimbots, right? So if you're getting above 20 average, you should go up. So obviously start with easy. If you get on average, not on average, it's like if you consistently get over 20, go up. If you consistently get over 20 on medium, go up as well to hard. Once you're on hard, if you get consistently over 20, you can either just keep rinsing and repeating, or you can change your weapon to something you're a bit less comfortable with, and that way you're gonna practice your flicking a bit better. So like if you're already on hard and getting 20 plus, I'd recommend using Sheriff or Guardian just to make sure you're not actually spraying with the weapon and you're getting that first shot always on target. Otherwise, I just recommend using whichever Phantom or Vandal, whichever you're more comfortable with. Also, I recommend not switching weapons a lot during games. So if you main Vandal heavily, I'd recommend just doing that until you have grinded it out to perfection, and then you can start learning the Phantom. But like if you're learning both Vandal and Phantom, you're gonna get them a bit confused and you're not gonna utilize them properly. So again, I recommend sticking to one weapon. Obviously there's gonna be scenarios where you have to pick the other one up, but again, just make sure you're trying to stick to the one. So yeah, even I'm not good at aiming or anything, but just following these steps, like I don't actually like to do the aimbots that I just did at the end here now, but it's decent for flicking. So even though Valorant isn't that much flicking heavy, it's mainly like tracking because of crosshair placement and things like that. A lot of it is like vertical because there's actually a lot of higher areas of the map. Like, you still can't neglect flicking or any aspect of aiming. As I said before, you have to still look at every aspect and improve on every aspect of aiming. You're not going to become a god just by having insane flicking and having trash like tracking or anything. It's just not going to work. You need to be good at every aspect of aiming. So just remember, even like here, you're not really trying to get the highest scores. Well, like, even though you are, like, you're gonna have worst rolls sometimes. So like, killing a guy here and the next one spawning here will happen sometimes. So you're gonna have abnormalities where sometimes you're gonna get 1, 2, 3 like easy spawns and you're gonna get a higher score, and sometimes you're gonna get a lower score. It's gonna happen. So like, don't think, oh, I got 4 less, like I did worse. It's more about consistent improvement. So if over the span of like a week your average has gone up by 2 or 3, you're still progressing, you're doing something right. So make sure whenever you're doing aim training that you're progressing and you're enjoying it, because if you don't enjoy your aim training, you're gonna stop doing it. So that'd be really it. Like, there's nothing special to aim training, and there's no like hidden tricks that'll make you an aim god very fast. Like, you can spend more time on it. Again, if you're getting into a game, or if you're about to get into a game, just warm up. I'd recommend warming up in game. If you already use external sources for like aim training, warm up in game, because it's gonna give you the feel of how it is in game. You're gonna get the feel of counter strafing, you're gonna get the feel of your crosshair placement, how the weapons work, like the spray and everything. So I recommend warming up in game. And if you use aim trainers after, again, use aim trainers or even aim training here when you're already finished with your gaming session. Like, you're not gonna play anymore. That's when you do it, because you're not gonna get tired out and you're gonna go sleep and you're gonna learn it better because you've done it just before sleep. So make sure you don't tire yourself out. Make sure you don't do too much aim training as well, because too much will make you get bored of it, or make like you're not gonna enjoy as much. So as long as you're getting it in and you're improving, you're doing something right.